Welcome, everyone. The message I have for the upcoming week, starting Monday, September 25th, or if you like, starting Sunday, today, September 24th, is about healing. It is healing after trauma, healing after dark nights, healing from anxiety and trying to fix things all by ourselves, healing after suffering and feeling disjointed and all over the place. So it is an integrative message, and the high being in charge of the week is Kwan Yin. If you heard of her, she is the Buddhist, primarily Buddhist bodhisattva, or high being of compassion. And the story of Kwan Yin is that originally she was born as Avalokiteshvara, as male, but transitioned into a female divine form as Kwan Yin. And so Kwan Yin associates herself with those who have been marginalized and neglected, as really the personification of unconditional love. So she helps all those who are sincerely in need, and it's a help that is not based on merit. So to invoke Kwan Yin, you don't have to be a good person or have performed a certain amount. I don't even know what a good person means, but assuming you have some particular image of being a good person, I don't know what one has to do to be that, or have performed a certain amount of religious works, or, pray regularly, or do this, do that. The only condition is the state of the heart. I need your help. So it's an unconditional love that doesn't set any requirements or conditions on receiving help, on asking for help. So Kwan Yin comes to all those who ask her sincerely. And the story of Kwan Yin is that in ancient times, women were not allowed to be in a room alone with a man other than her father or her husband. In Asia, we still have this in numerous cultures. And so that excluded women from spiritual practices that involved men. And Avalokiteshvara made himself into a woman, becoming Kwan Yin, so that being a woman, she could impart spiritual teachers. So the women were not excluded, because if Avalokiteshvara were a man, then women could not receive spiritual teachings from him. But Kwan Yin can take any form as needed. And she can appear as a sentient being, as a human, or as an animal, and also embody a human for a while, for a time, something like a divine possession. So you can also embody Kwan Yin at times when you are acting as a bodhisattva, when you are emanating this unconditional love. And maybe I can also add here, in terms of unconditional love, so often we have a particular image of what unconditional love is, and what we imagine unconditional love to be on our behalf when we say, oh, I really love him unconditionally, is not really unconditional love. meaning that sometimes we want to give love and get very frustrated when it is not received. Oh, I just want to love him unconditionally. Why doesn't he answer? Why doesn't he receive my unconditional love? It's so horrible. I just want to love him unconditionally and he doesn't want it, right? So I'm chasing him with, oh, receive my unconditional love. I want to save you. And if you abstract yourself from your situation just for a moment and look at it from above or from a different angle, well, wouldn't you be running away if somebody were just chasing you and screaming, receive my unconditional love, receive, I want to love you. We've all had maybe that suffocating parent or grandmother or a friend or a guide who was just suffocating with their love or what they thought was love. In most cases, it's this imaginary belief that, oh, I just want to love everyone. Why are they all running away? Well, that's not unconditional love because there is a condition, right? I need you to receive my love. Well, Kwan Yin doesn't chase anyone and doesn't demand for you to receive love and doesn't get frustrated when somebody doesn't want to receive her. In fact, that's the only condition to connect to Kwan Yin, to ask for help. So remember, if you are trying to love someone unconditionally, the first definition of unconditional love is setting no conditions. So true love will let them go. If they don't want to be with you, it's their choice. So if you love them, you will release them and let them go and say, yes, I respect your choice. You don't want my love? That's fine. And once you do that, you will be able to see that what you had was really not unconditional love. It was something else. It was projection of a desire to be loved. So the only person you need to love unconditionally is yourself. After that, you will be able to love others, because at that level, when you're chasing people with your love, you're just projecting love outwards because you can't love yourself for some reason. So that's also a message for the week, to observe when we get frustrated with someone rejecting our love, as we think, or our help, or oh, why does just they don't want to be enlightened? Why don't they want to be spiritual? Why don't they want to receive my love? Why don't they want my help? Well, because they don't want it. So step back, help yourself, and love yourself. And I mean at a deep level, at the same level you want to love them. So a true love, true unconditional love, sets everyone free, lets them go, fall, break, make a mess of their life, destroy themselves completely. For that is unconditional love. It respects the path of others, and their path may be very, very different from yours at this time. So that's an important message, I think, for many who are listening, and for many of us also, to remember this, that it's really not unconditional love if you are chasing. It's something else. There is nothing wrong with love, but if people are running away from our love, it's a message to turn it inwards, to start loving yourself. There will usually be a place in the heart, deep in the heart, where you will look and say, no, I'm not worthy of love. I'm a horrible person, or I'm so damaged, or nobody loves me, or everyone rejects me. It is this place that needs unconditional love. It's this place that needs your work and your time and your chasing and your embrace and your contemplation, your looking at yourself and saying, wow, I didn't know that I felt so low, so dejected, so lower than low, so below everyone else. When you've made peace with that place, when you've accepted that part of you, then it will get easier to handle the rejection of others. In fact, you are not going to see it as rejection. But back to the healing, back to the energy for the upcoming week, it's a call for healing and rejuvenation. And a very important part of it is the dream world. Now we are past the autumn equinox, so we are moving into winter in the northern hemisphere. In the south, it's the upward movement, but in the north, it's the downward movement. We're entering dream time, where light becomes less and less, darkness becomes more. And that is the time of rejuvenation and healing. And dreams play a huge part in that, a huge role in that, because our dream state is where we receive healing so very often. Yes, it is a time to work with dreams, as in lucid dreaming, and what messages I receive from dreams. But the first step is to acknowledge dream time as the time of healing. Dream is the first, the most common, the most known. Everybody sleeps and dreams. Dream state is the most common altered state. It is an altered state that everybody knows. You don't need to take mind-altering drugs to be in an altered state. Every time you're sleeping, you are in an altered state. You see the reality differently, and very often you work in that reality. Your mind processes the events of the day. Sometimes it processes the events of other worlds, the astral realms, and some work very hard in dreams, traveling to other astrals and connecting with other beings. And so setting an intention before going to sleep and saying, I intend my sleep to be for rejuvenation and healing, not for work, not for unconditionally loving someone again in my dream state, but for healing, for rejuvenation and healing for me. I go to sleep in the old times, and in most spiritual traditions, dream time and sleep was seen as death. You go to bed, you leave this world, and you drift off to another realm. And so this correlation between death and sleeping, we see it everywhere. And the most important spiritual practice, really in all monastic traditions that I know of, was to prepare for sleep as if for death. So you make an examination of conscience before sleeping, you say your prayers before sleeping, right? You do the whatever it is, ritual washing or meditation. You prepare for sleep, if it's just a few minutes or if it's a longer prayer, but there is some form of ritual that prepares for sleep. You go over the events of the day. And that trained the body and mind to prepare also for that final leaving the world that we are also all going to do, for death. And also remembering that tomorrow is the next day when the slate will be wiped clean. You create a new day every time. When you wake up, you will be a different person. You have a choice to take your burdens with you or to let them go. Because ultimately, I mean, death, it removes you from attachments to this life. So there is that opportunity when you go to sleep to allow your burdens to leave. So working with dream time, with sleep time, is also a message for the week to take it as a sleep of rejuvenation, of renewal, of a new start. Let the old day die and go its way and wake up to a new day. And receive healing in that. Receive healing in rest. Allowing that consciousness to emerge, that awareness to emerge, that, oh, I can create a new day, co-create a new day today again. So to sum up, the message is healing, releasing, rejuvenation. The guardian for the week is Kwan Yin. And the mode to function, I would say, is slowing down. Awareness, even if you slow down just for 1 minute and take a few deep breaths and center yourself. And just turn that attention, that focus inwards. It will be very helpful. So thank you for listening, and I wish you all a blessed week.